Hello everyone, my name is Carrie Dasilva and my instructor's name is Jay Murphy. Today I'll be speaking about the conservation of momentum and particle collisions. Thanks for watching. Momentum is inertia in motion, or simply the mass of the object and its velocity. When two particles in a system collide, the absence of an external force leaves them unchanged. The conservation of momentum states that if one object loses momentum, another gains it. Total momentum of the system is conserved, thus the net momentum before a collision is equal to the net momentum after a collision. A collision can produce either an elastic collision, where the colliding objects bounce back off one another, or an inelastic collision where two colliding objects stick together. The following simulation shows an example of an elastic collision, where one moving object at a velocity of 0.2 meters per second collides with the stationary object of the same mass. Upon colliding, the momentum from the first object is transferred to the second. In this system, the final momentum of both particles stays the same. The next simulation shows an example of an inelastic collision, where one object at a velocity of 0.2 meters per second collides with the stationary object of the same mass. Notice how these objects link upon collision. After the collision, the object has twice the mass, and as a result, the velocity is reduced. Both sides of the equation remains constant, and the momentum is shared equally. In video games, if two objects are moving towards each other, what will ultimately happen? Without recognizing collision, these objects will essentially behave as empty space in a plane and overlap one another. The computer has no knowledge that these are separate solid objects and shouldn't overlap. That's why the designer and/or developer must translate these actions to the computer through the use of collision detection using physical laws. This is an algorithm that detects the collision between two or more objects, pairs of overlapping objects, and their orientation as well as other physical interactions. In shooter games, collision detection determines whether or not a bullet hits a character, the behavior of a bullet upon hitting another surface, and the player's interaction with their environment. Momentum is what drives a bullet through a muscle, bone, or cartilage. Here we see the precision of a player's long-range bullet as the camera slowly zooms towards the victim. With the X-ray vision, we can determine the damage and the force exerted by the bullet as it ruptures the body. Newton's first law states that an object in motion will continue moving unless it's interfered with. The same theory applies to momentum. An object's velocity will remain constant unless it collides with another object. A bullet is an example of an object that has very small mass and large momentum because of its velocity. As the bullet comes into contact with the body, it can either have the chance of hitting a part that is substantial enough to stop it, or it keeps going for the entirety of its momentum. As the bullet penetrates the skull, the tissue and bone isn't strong enough to reduce the bullet's momentum. Thus, the bullet penetrates without losing much of its energy. In this picture, I circled the bullet in motion. Another notable example lies in the game of Portal. In this game, the player has control over a gun that fires a blue and orange portal. Alone, each portal is useless, but together can be used to navigate from place to place. In this example, the player shoots a portal on the bottom of the floor and then another in the surface above them. Thus, when they jump into the first portal, they keep all the momentum as they pass into the upper portal. In addition, the Havoc's physics engine is designed primarily for video games, allowing an integration of real-time collision and simulations. It includes physics properties such as mass, elasticity, friction, and others that can be set for rigid bodies. This benefits the overall game by giving designers and developers full controls over the behavior of the objects. With Havoc, these formulas can be integrated into the game without the need to fix the properties of the objects during construction time. In these examples, the effects of collision and the exchange of energy and momentum are evident. As the car bumps into another, it exerts a force that pushes the car forward. In addition, the car that caused the impact slows down because of its change in momentum. Lastly, without collision detection and proper physics and mathematics, your games would look like this. Thanks for watching.